Big story on WION World is one. Voters are heading to the polling booths once again in Turkey as the nation experiences its first ever runoff election for the president. The voters will decide whether the incumbent Recep Tayyip Erdogan extends his rule into a third decade or the opposition candidate Kemal Kilicdaroglu, who is also known as the Mahatma Gandhi of Turkey, secures a historic win. Counting of votes will begin soon after and a clear winner is expected. Both the candidates engaged in an intense campaign on Saturday in their last attempt to woo the voters. A neck-and-neck race is expected just as the first round of voting, in which Erdogan narrowly missed out on a victory. Now, Erdogan has defied forecasts of his political demise in Turkey's elections. In his final rallies, Erdogan urged voters to turn out and complete the quote-unquote unfinished work.
Sayın Cumhurbaşkanı, siz de hanımefendiyi de rica etsem.
Meanwhile, presidential candidate Kemal Kilicdaroglu touched on issues like economy, repatriating migrants as well as women's rights in his final rally. The election in Turkey comes amid various economic troubles such as high inflation and record currency depreciation. It comes months after the 7.8 magnitude earthquake that caused massive destruction. Now, these are some major issues that divide the voters. Some want to see a change, while others are happy with the current leadership. In the first round of voting that took place on May 14th, Erdogan secured 49.5% support, falling just short of the 50% majority mark needed to avoid a runoff, while Kilicdaroglu got about 44.9%. Now, for more on this, our correspondent Lara Villalon joins us live from Istanbul. Welcome to the broadcast, Lara. How is the enthusiasm amongst the voters this time? Now, the first round did see some record turnout. How's the mood this time around?
So this runoff has been much more calm than the previous elections. There is no lines outside the schools. Everything is much more quiet, but it's believed because since voters, they have to cast only one vote, they have to only decide about the president, there is no queues of people waiting to cast their ballots. So there is this general feeling that the situation is getting quieter, that there is less turnout. But experts point out that probably it will increase compared to the previous elections.
Right. Now, the runoff is happening within a fortnight of the first round, of course. Have you noticed any significant change on the ground in the mood in the voters, the concerns that continue to affect the voters? Have you seen any kind of change?
So there's been, in some polling stations, there's been certain incidents, certain tension, because since there is a very tight race between Erdogan and Kilicdaroglu, and it's the first time that there is a runoff, there is a lot on stake, so many political parties are have deployed their observers, and there's been some incidents of people trying to stuff polling stations with more ballots, try to vote for instead of their wife or husband. So there's been some fights, especially in the southeastern cities of the country.
All right, Lara, stay with me. We are getting some visuals from Istanbul right now where the incumbent president Recep Tayyip Erdogan is seen handing out money to supporters outside a polling station. The Reuters visuals shows him giving out about 200 lira banknotes and shaking hands with his supporters. The move has become something of a tradition for Erdogan, who hands out toys and money to people on special occasions, including, of course, the Muslim festivals. Now, Lara, I want to come back to you. Now, the timing of this is absolutely key because the Turkish economy is not in its best shape. So, cost of living crisis, of course, is an extremely sensitive topic for all of these voters. And at a time like this, a top election contender like Erdogan, the incumbent, is handing out money. How do you see this on the grounds of ethical?
Well, the problem is that it's not the first time that Erdogan is giving money to people after casting his vote, like it happened in the first round as well. And during the electoral meetings that he went to different cities, he ended up giving money to the people. And opposition parties have criticized previously this move, especially as you mentioned, under a huge economic crisis, giving money to people, it can be considered as an offensive action. But the lines are very blurry. In theory, according to the law, politicians cannot campaign during the day of the election. But since Erdogan has been casting his vote as a citizen, this line of doing propaganda or not is very thin.
All right, Lara, thank you for getting us all those insights.